and today's faculty meeting is going to consist of a takeaway that you can go immediately into the classroom and utilize with your students. As you know, we've recently become PBIS schools, and through PBIS, we are looking for positive ways to work with our students on their behavior. So we decided to focus on the Mystery Motivator, which is a PBIS intervention. And my name is Ashley Hill, and this is
Amy Baxter, and a mystery motivator is an incentive system designed to deliver a random reward for appropriate behavior.
Okay, so before we get started, we want to go over our agenda with you. We just gave you our welcome and our introductions, and we're going to go over our purpose and our essential questions. We're going to look at the research behind this because before we decided to present it to you, we made sure that it was an effective strategy that we would use in our classrooms and that you can use in your classrooms. And then we're going to talk about how it works, and then suggestions for you to use it in your classroom and make it personal to you, because what works in my classroom will not necessarily work in yours.
So let's look at our purpose and our essential questions for today's professional development. Our essential question is, when should the mystery motivator be used in the classroom? We're having technical difficulties. There we go. Okay. And how is it implemented with fidelity as an intervention plan? The purpose of our discussion today of this professional development is to provide effective strategies for managing student behavior and focus in the classroom. It can be used, the mystery motivator can be used with a single student, a group of students, or even an individual class.
I think it could probably even be used for the entire school.
Absolutely.
If a principal or assistant principal wanted to utilize it and give a reward to the entire school, I think they'd go for that as well.
I agree with you,
That's
Ashley.
the thing about the mystery motivator is you can make it work for you and for the students that you're specifically targeting. Okay, so again, before we present something to you, we want to make sure that there is research behind it that shows that it is effective to use with your students, because we don't want to just keep throwing out. We've all sat through professional development where we hear things that we know will not necessarily work, but that sounds good. And we've also sat through professional developments that we've heard over and over again. And this was something that I felt was new that I'd never heard about before, and I was excited to bring it to you. So the research is saying that recent studies have shown that students' disrespectful behavior and bullying has increased in the classroom. And I know personally, I can say that I have seen this with particular students. Due to the importance of giving our students the best education possible, Gage explains that students must be engaged during instructions and that teachers must have control through an effective behavior management system. Now, I know this is not what any of your classrooms look like, but I know there are days that we walk away and this is how we feel. So I thought this was a picture that kind of depicts how we can sometimes become frustrated when we are experiencing certain behaviors that are not necessarily what we want to experience in our classrooms or at our school.
The research has continued to tell us about acknowledging appropriate behaviors has always been a part of teaching. But the popularity of encouraging positive behaviors with the use of a mystery motivator reward is growing in popularity. These mystery rewards build anticipation and interest since the reward is uncertain. And this is from Kramer in 2012. And what we have found by doing our research with the mystery motivator is that you want that incentive to be something that the child picks out or the whole group. And we will have some examples of what you could do at the end of our slides.
Okay, so how does the Mystery Motivator work? Why are we bringing it to you today so that you can take it into your classroom? Well, the Mystery Motivator can be used to focus on academic assignment completeness. We all have students who don't complete their work on time, then it never gets turned in, or they forget their homework. This is something you can work on with them to say, okay, if every day this week you bring in your completed homework, you're going to be able to earn this reward. It also can focus on promptness for those students who are tardy a lot, who are maybe absent a lot. You can say, hey, if you have no tardies this week, you'll be able to put your name in for the mystery reward. Or for those students who have even nurse visits, you can work on that and say, look, if you don't have to go to the nurse more than twice this week, you'll be able to get a reward from the Mystery Motivator. Good lunchroom behavior. I know I'm constantly on my students about when I'm out of sight, they still have to behave the way that it's expected to. So this is something you could use to motivate them with. And then few classroom rules broken. So yelling out, getting out of their seat when they're not supposed to, having a pencil sharpened. You can focus on those skills that you really want them to reach and have them be part of your intervention plan with the students. And the great thing about it is each day you can focus on a different skill with them, or it can be an ongoing skill that you focus on.
The other way that you can use mystery motivators is to decrease a behavior that you see that is negative in the student. They may swear too much or have potty language. You could also decrease the fighting behavior if they're arguing with their classmate or if they're having physical altercations on the playground. Talking out. This is a big one because this works with any child in your class who forgets to raise their hand, and you could say, okay, well, if you do not talk out 5 times in a day, you could get a mystery motivator prize possibly. And academic errors. So if it's a child who may not go back and check the rubric or not check and write their name on their paper, which is huge. So that could be something you can use to decrease that behavior. It's something similar to behavior modification that what we're trying with the mystery motivator.
Okay, so what are the steps for using it in the classroom? Let's go back just a bit.
Uh-oh.
Come on. There. Technical difficulties, of course, we all experience those. We can all relate. Okay. YouTube is thinking at this moment. Okay, so using the mystery motivator in the classroom. Just want to make sure it doesn't take off on us.
The first step is decide the type of visualization technique you want to use in the classroom. So do you want a mystery motivator chart where you display the behavior and then do it by a weekly incentive? Or do you want to do it a calendar for the entire month? You could also do, for a whole group setting, the jar that they put different tokens in.
Okay, and we're going to show them all of that in just a few minutes. You can then need to develop a reward menu or insert possible rewards into an envelope to keep the reward at mystery. So again, you don't want it to be something where you're saying, if you do this, then you get this. But it is, you might possibly be able to get a reward if you're meeting all of the expectations, but they still do not know what the reward is.
Step 3 is that you want to select 1 to 3 behaviors that you would like to either decrease or increase in the child. You do not want to go past 3 behaviors because then it becomes very overwhelming for the child. Or you don't want to just focus in on one behavior because what happens if they don't, that it's harder for them to meet that behavior. So if you give them 3 options, then they could possibly get the reward for that day if it's the reward day.
Okay, and then you want to select a time period with the students. They need to know, I expect you to behave and follow these rules during math class, or I expect you to not disrupt class all day, or maybe it's even a week. You guys get to choose. That's what's great. It's flexible, and you can decide, or you and your class can decide, which I think is probably the best way to look at it.
Now remember, Ashley, what we were reading during our research is that you want that time not to be overwhelming for them, and that you want a short amount of time.
Right. You can't do a month for the mystery motivator. The students lose interest, they lose motivation, and it needs to be a timely one. You're right.
Step 5 is that you want to decide on the minimum behavior criteria students must meet to earn towards the reward. So are you going to do a tally mark system where if you get more than 3 tallies for this behavior, then you do not get the prize for the day. So you have to set those guidelines so then the child understands what they need to do and realize and make that teachable moment to them that, oops, I've done that. They have 2 more opportunities. You want to make it a small amount, 3 to 5 tallies would be the best way.
Right. And then the last thing is you want to teach and utilize the mystery motivator throughout the lesson. So again, the way I'm envisioning this is during our morning meeting, we discuss our mystery motivator. We tell them what we're going to focus on. We tell them the amount of disruptions we expect to have. And then as we're teaching and we notice that they're following what we expect or they're not following, we make note of it. We discuss it in a light, quick manner. So, for example, Amy is raising her hand to answer a question, and that was what our focus was. No blurting out, we're raising our hands if we want to answer a question. So when I go to acknowledge it and give the students a tally mark, I would say, you know what, Amy, great job raising your hand. I'm going to give you a tally mark towards our mystery motivator. You don't have to harp on it. You don't have to go on and on about it, but just quickly acknowledging that, hey, you're earning a mystery motivator point because you did this really signals to the other kids, hey, I want to do that too. Okay, and hopefully, you know what, 1 second, I'm going to back out and go back in, and I think that will reset it. And again, we all love technology because it does really help us in the classroom, but at times we can experience difficult times, as we do with anything else in the classroom. So,
and thank you for being patient with
Yes.
us with our technical difficulties. We appreciate it.
you know what, I think it could be an internet issue more than anything. But as
can
we
talk
are
about-
waiting for the internet, we will talk to you about the JAR system that we were really excited about to use with our students, and we know that you will too.
This reward, the JAR system, is more for the whole group class. It's similar to the fill the bucket concept that is a lot of schools and classrooms are going towards. So say, for instance, you want to do homework completion for the whole class. So if everybody turns in, and you want to do that over a week, and for that week you may want to have 3 days that are your mystery motivator mystery days, and that the class could possibly win the prize. And this is where you would do a whole group prize, something big, maybe extra recess. It doesn't have to be costly. You can do simple things in the classroom. Extra recess, maybe a game, maybe game day, or flashlight reading if you're a reading classroom, something like that. Or you could do, if it's over a month, if you extend your mystery motivator, if they meet their prize over that whole month, they could win a bigger prize like a pizza party. So if a student turns in their homework, the purple represents every child turned in their homework.
For Monday?
For
So
Monday.
Would it start on Monday?
You would start Monday to Friday, because homework may be due every day of the week. So on Monday, they would receive a purple token. On Tuesday, they received a green token. Monday may have been their mystery day, and they could have gotten their prize. and then they said, oh, well, we got our prize for the week, they would never imagine that the Mystery Motivator Day could be in consecutive order. You could do a Monday, Tuesday, or a Monday, Tuesday, Friday. You want to do it so then they don't have that there's a pattern, that you kind of have a pattern that is not available to them. Tuesday, they did not turn it in. They get a green token. Wednesday and Thursday, they turned in their homework. And Friday, they did not turn in their homework. So for the whole week, they received 3 purple and 2 greens. The special thing about the Mystery Motivator is that you could have a bonus day and a bonus prize. And so what you would do is call maybe your helper up for the day and let them draw the token out. If they pulled out a purple one, they could get the
bonus.
reward, the bonus. But if they pulled out the green one, they do not get the bonus. So you can make it your own, and that's what's so special about the Mystery Motivator.
Basically, on Wednesday, if Wednesday was a Mystery Motivator Day, then they would have gotten the mystery prize for that day.
Mm-hmm.
So they would have gotten one prize on Wednesday for everyone turning in their homework because it was a Mystery Motivator Day. But then they still earned the token, and on Friday was able to earn another prize if that was drawn. It's a probability lesson.
Correct.
So,
and if they all turned in their homework and they reveal that it's not the Mystery Motivator Day, you still need to have that positive praise to them, saying, well, you all turned it in. Let's turn in our homework tomorrow, and you can get the prize. That prize may be tomorrow. So you got to still kind of give them some accolades for even turning it in if it's not the most Mystery Motivator Day.
now, Amy, I bet I have a question that they are wanting to ask us.
Okay.
I bet I know it.
What's your question?
How do we know if it's a Mystery Motivator Day?
Oh, yes. That's
Well,
it.
Thank goodness technology is back in order, because we have a calendar, or you can have a calendar in your classroom. You can just print a random calendar off of the internet. It can be a blank one. And you get invisible ink, a white crayon, whatever you can use you could write on this that would not show up, and you hang it on your board. So you can do a pattern if you wanted to, but the students are smart. I wouldn't do a pattern.
No,
I would get a calendar, and I would get invisible ink, and I would go and put Monday is a Mystery Motivator Day, Wednesday is a Mystery Motivator Day, and Thursday is a Mystery Motivator Day. Then the next week I would go and write with my invisible ink, maybe Tuesday is a Mystery Motivator Day, Wednesday and Friday. I would make it vary. Okay, so when the students have completed their task, say for instance, on Monday we discussed that during math class we would not have more than 2 students yell out without raising their hands. So when math class is over, 50-minute session, I say, wow, you guys, I only have one tally mark where someone yelled out without raising their hand. You have earned your Mystery Motivator. Let's check our calendar and see if it's a Mystery Motivator Day. I would then get a crayon or marker, whatever would expose the hidden ink, and color in the day. If their Mystery Motivator M appears, they get the prize that day. If it doesn't, you know what? We pat ourselves on the back, we move on, and maybe tomorrow we will reach the Mystery Motivator. This keeps students excited, it's fun, and it really can be helpful in the classroom.
Now, if you look at this Mystery Motivator chart, this would be good for a student who is at the Tier 3 behavior level, that you are having to track every day and every week their behavior problems and that things that you're trying to work on with them in class. Now, this is something that I would include them on to help make it their own. I would have them pick a picture, like a sports star, and I've actually completed this with a child in my own classroom. They picked the Falcons, and he wanted a Falcons emblem on there to make it his own. And then we chose 3 appropriate behaviors that they should be doing or wanting to decrease in the classroom. Maybe talking out or increasing the homework, things like that. They have to, and then you track it with your behavior chart. And on here you can see where it's the bonus day. So maybe if they did not have as many tally marks for that behavior, then they can release that prize. So this would be a great way, and then it's your documentation.
And you can still use the invisible ink on this too.
Absolutely.
And so this is a modified version for an individual student.
Mhm.
This would be more of a whole group.
Correct. And if you're doing the whole group incentive, you may want to have a mystery motivator envelope where you have the class vote on different items that they would like to receive as their big prize. And like I said earlier, it does not have to be costly to you. It could be simple things in the classroom, maybe a brand new pencil, flashlight reading, extra recess. It could be something as simple as that. Lunch in the classroom.
And then we also just wanted to focus real quickly on the fact that, I mean, this is individualized for you. You choose what works for you. If it seems overwhelming to do it every day, do the mystery motivators on Friday. Start off slow, but you will see an improvement with your students. We did a research study, and every school that participated in using the mystery motivator saw a decrease in disruptions in the classroom, every single one. So we know that this will be effective for you, and we thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, and have fun with your mystery motivators.